The gentleman from Magdalo, the Honorable Gary Alejano, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon to my colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I rise on a personal and collective privilege on an ongoing issue which has far-reaching implications to the justice system and stability in our country. On September 4, 2018, Presidential Proclamation number 572, dated August 31, 2018, was released in public, revoking the amnesty granted to Senator Antonio Trillanes IV more than 7 years ago. Accordingly, the granting of amnesty to Trillanes is void ab initio, a term popularized by Solicitor General Jose Calida. Before proceeding to shed light on the issue, let me state that this is a clear political persecution against Senator Trillanes through a unilateral decision of the President employing baseless accusations. I understand that the issues surrounding the revocation of the amnesty of Senator Trillanes have been reported and circulating in the media. Let me reiterate them here for the record and for those who may not be able to monitor the issues. Punta po tayo sa basihan ng pagdeklara ng pag-revoke ng amnesty ni Senator Trillanes. The basis, una, hindi daw siya sumipot sa pag-apply ng kanyang amnestiya. Pangalawa, there was no admission of guilt. The main basis of the revocation, which is non-appearance, is asserted by virtue of the certification of certain Lieutenant Colonel Andrade, one of the division chiefs in J1 Armed Forces of the Philippines, which stated that no records available in her office. Further, because of the revocation, the armed forces and the Philippine National Police were mandated to employ all legal means to arrest Trillanes. As to the personal appearance of Senator Trillanes in filing his amnesty application, unang-una po, I can attest personally that he filed personally and took an oath before the administrating officer. Sabay po kaming nag-apply. In fact, on that day, January 5, 2011, 19 officers applied, kasama po si Senator Trillanes, at 12 or 20 na enlisted personnel. Nandoon po ako. At kitang-kita ko po na siya po ay nag-apply at nanumpa sa kanyang application. Secondly, the filing on that day was widely covered by media. At kahit po yung na-report din ito sa mga newspapers. And for that matter, allow me to play the video.
Ang Ad Hoc Committee ng Defense Department sa pagtanggap ng aplikasyon kahapon ay umabot na sa 57 ang nakapag-file ng kanilang amnesty application. Ang Ad Hoc Committee na pinamunuan ni DNDU Sec for Defense Affairs Honorio Ascueta ay nakapagtala na ng 57 aplikante simula ng Lunes nang inanunsyo nila ang pagsisimula ng pagpoproseso ng mga amnesty applicants. Sa kabuuang 57 nagsumite ay 22 sa mga ito ang opisyal at 35 ang mga enlisted personnel, kabilang na si Senator Trillanes sa kabuuan ng mga nag-file. Sinabi ni Trillanes na dahil sa isinasaad sa requirements, inamin niya ang kanyang kasalanan sa konstitusyon at hindi sa dating Pangulong Gloria Arroyo.
Okay, maraming salamat po. As to the other assertion that Trillanes did not admit guilt of offenses committed, again, this is wrong. The amnesty applications already contain the provision of admission of guilt. Kasi akala nila yung application ay hiwalay na dokumento sa pag-admit ng guilt. Hindi po. Iisang dokumento lamang yan at yung admission of guilt ay nakapaloob doon sa application form. At nais ko lamang basahin ang nakalagay doon. And I quote, I hereby acknowledge that my involvement, participation in the subject incidents, in this case, the Oakwood incident and the Manila Pen incident constituted a violation of the 1987 Constitution, criminal laws, and the Articles of War. I hereby recant my previous statements that are contrary, if any, to this express admission of involvement, participation, and guilt. Then the applicant affixes his signature. Nandun po, pipirmahan po yan. Lahat ng maaring labagin sa ilalim ng saligang batas, criminal laws, at kahit doon sa Articles of War, when it comes to members of military, ay inaamin ho namin na meron po kaming kasalanan. Pero as to the specific offenses like coup d'etat and rebellion, debatable po yan dahil legal yan. May mga elemento ang mga kaso. So hindi po pwedeng sabihin na aminin kung coup d'etat ang aking kasalanan dahil hindi naman talaga coup d'etat ho yun. No, example lang po yan dahil nakalagay doon sa elemento na isang pag-atake sa government installation. Oakwood Hotel po yan, hindi naman government installation. So ang issue ng specific offenses ay debatable. Pero kung sasabihin meron bang nalabag? Yes, merong nalabag sa ilalim ng saligang batas. Kahit na jaywalking sa Makati, anti-smoking ordinance, lahat pwedeng ma-violate. Pero as to specific offenses, ay debatable po yan. In the verification portion of the application, the applicant affixes his signature again and both thumbprints before the administering officer. Di naman tatanggapin ng administering officer pag kulang po mga entries sa application. At pagkatapos po na na-check na kumpleto ang entries, ay susumpaan mo yan, personal. So ganyan po yung proseso. The form is filled out by the applicant, personally submitted to the DND Ad Hoc Amnesty Committee, then committee checks the completeness of the application, the applicant personally affixes his signature and thumbprints in front of the administrating officer, tapos susumpaan niya. Nasa committee po ang application forms at wala ho kaming maalala na may kopya ho kami ng application forms. Di ho ito katulad ng mga transmittal letters na kung saan ay meron po tayong received copies. Wala ho kaming kopya. And I understand lahat po nag-apply walang kopya. So therefore, lahat ba kami ay void ab initio? Yung mga dokumento na sa poder nila na sila din ang nagwala. Remember, the Ad Hoc Amnesty Committee is a temporary organization. Temporary po lamang, as its name connotes. It was created to receive in process amnesty applications under Proclamation 75, issued on 24 November of 2010. It was disbanded after it served its purpose. Now, as to who among the members of the committee in which office took the amnesty records, that's the question. Sino ba talaga nagdala nun? Sinong nagdala at aling opisina? We should also note that the officers or head of offices in the Department of National Defense and the Armed Forces just come and go. The amnesty records could be kept somewhere else in the premises of Camp Aguinaldo. I have heard in the news that a certain DND official said that the certification does not mean walang records. Hindi lang available at the time of certification. However, ang tanong, kung hinahanap pa lamang ang amnesty records, bakit one day after ng certification ay pinirmahan na kaagad itong Proclamation 572? Hinahanap pa lamang ang mga records. Ganun kabilis ginawa. Ang certification ay ginawa noong August 30 at ang Proclamation 572 ay lumabas noong August 31. They should have exerted all efforts to locate the records within the department before deciding on issuing a very controversial proclamation. Kulang sa tinatawag na completed staff work ang ating Solicitor General dahil siya po ang naghahanap nito. Hindi po nila ginawa ang kanilang assignment. Timing. Bakit ang proclamation na ito ay nilabas noong September 4 kahit ito ay napirmahan na ng August 31? Anong significance nito?
Last September 4 was the schedule of the investigation in the Senate of the alleged multi-million worth of contracts of the security agency owned by Kalida sa gobyerno. Therefore, nais pagtakpan ni Solicitor General Kalida ang investigasyon na ito sa araw na yan. And he succeeded. Dahil hindi na pinag-usapan yung kanyang conflict of interest in government, na pag-usapan na lamang itong Proclamation 572 at ang napipintong pag-aresto kay Senator Trillanes. Maliban pa dyan, isa din itong paraan upang pagtakpan ang incompetence ng mga economic managers ng Duterte administration sa pag-aresto ng inflation, kawalan ng murang bigas at isda at iba pa. Ang pag-aresto kay Trillanes ang kasagutan nila sa problemang ekonomiya, hindi yung pag-aresto ng inflation. Punta ho tayo sa kaso, sa mga kasong iginawad sa amin. Background lamang para maintindihan ng taong bayan. Lahat na nag-participate sa Oakwood Incident in 2003 ay nakasuhan ng iba't ibang kaso sa ilalim ng Articles of War. Dahil kinasuhan ang 31 po sa amin ng kudeta before the RTC Branch 148, lahat ng charges sa court-martial ay tinanggal. Kasi otherwise, magiging double jeopardy. With the imminent granting of bail on our case, dahil mahina po yung kasong kudeta sa amin. So, ito ay mabibigyan ho kami ng bail. Ang ginawa po ng Armed Forces, kinasuhan ho kami ulit sa court-martial, pero this time, administrative cases na lamang. Dahil magkaroon po ng double jeopardy kung punitive articles of war ang igagawad sa amin. As to the criminal cases filed against us before the RTC branches 148 and 150, DOJ was surprised that these were all dismissed in 2011. Ang hawak nilang records ay nakapetsa pa ng 2010. Ano ngayon ang tatayuan ng pag-request ng whole departure order at alias warrant? Na wala ng kaso, patay na. Anong tatayuan? Kasi yung sinasabi ho nating alias warrant ay meron na pong dating warrant na hindi na successful ang pag-serve, binubuhay ulit. Wala na pong kaso. Ngayon, sa court-martial, sinabi ko kanina, administrative cases lamang ang kinaso kay Senator Trillanes. Admin cases have its maximum penalty of separation from service. Walang punitive actions dito gaya ng pagkakulong. Even without amnesty, which was issued in 2010, Trillanes, even in my case, was already a civilian as early as February of 2007, when he filed his certificate of candidacy for 2007 national elections, where he was deemed resigned as per Section 66, Article 9 of the Omnibus Election Code. It reads, candidates holding appointed office or positions, any person holding a public appointed office or position, including active members of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and officers and employees in government-owned or controlled corporations, shall be considered ipso facto resigned from his office upon the filing of his certificate of candidacy. End of quote. The Armed Forces issued General Order 515 dated 6 February 2007 in relation to this. Kaya nga discharged na po siya noong 2007. Trillanes was also issued command clearance, which means that he has no more liabilities and accountabilities in the Armed Forces kasama ng anumang pending na kaso. Kahit sa ombudsman, sa court-martial man, alam ho, sa mga retirado, dito nga sa ating building, sa House of Representatives, may mga retirado po dito na inintindihan po ito kahit na yung mga aktibo. Hindi ho kami mabibigyan ng clearances. Much more, mabibigyan ng aming retirement or separation benefits pag meron pong pending na kaso. So ano pong ibig sabihin nito? Wala na po siyang pending na kaso as early as 2007. The Proclamation 75 was issued only in 2010. Ngayon po, doon sa issue na si Secretary Voltaire Gasmin daw ay nag-usurp ng authority. Even this issue was not included in the Proclamation 572, ay ito na pong dahilan ng Presidente na invalid daw yung amnestia. Now he is questioning, the President is now questioning not only the amnesty of Senator Trillanes, but the amnesty of all those who availed under Proclamation 75. At sa tingin ko po ay maling-mali po siya. Bakit? Ang nag-grant po ng amnestia sa loob ng Proclamation 75 ay si former President Aquino at hindi po si Secretary Gasmin. Siya po ang nag-release ng Proclamation ng number 75. Hindi si Secretary Gasmin. Secretary Gasmin was tasked or given authority under Section 2 of Proclamation 75 to receive, process, and approve the applications for amnesty. So napaloob na rin doon sa Proclamation 75 kung sino o asan ka mag-a-apply ng iyong amnestia. Ang Secretary ng National Defense, siya ang tamang taong mag-process at mag-aproba. Kung merong appeal sa kanyang desisyon, ay pwedeng i-appeal sa Presidente at hindi sa kanya. Kaya nag-create ng DND Ad Hoc Amnesty Committee exactly to perform what Proclamation 75 stated them to perform. The Ad Hoc Amnesty Committee recommended approval of the amnesty applications through a resolution to Secretary Gasmin, which he approved. Gasmin, in his letter, apprised the granting authority, in this case President Aquino, of the status of the applications. The letter na yung ginagawang basihan ng ating Pangulo, Pangulong Duterte, clearly stated there, for His Excellency's information, para lang sa kaalaman ng Pangulo at hindi hinihingian ng approval dahil nagbigay na ho ng approval ang Pangulo sa amnestia. Ang tanong lang dito, sino ba ang qualified? The President granted the amnesty. DND processed and approved the applications of the amnesty. Ngayon, ano ang epekto nito sa ating bansa? There should be an assumption of regularity sa lahat ng proseso na ginagawa ng ating gobyerno. Pag ang isang Pilipino ay nabigyan na ng ID, driver's license, passport, voter's ID, PhilHealth ID, GSIS, SSS, marriage contract, birth certificate, marami po yan na ginagawa ng ini-issue nating gobyerno, ay hindi na dapat hinahanap ang application forms. Dito sa atin, pag ikaw ba ay lilipad labas ng bansa, hahanapin ba ng immigration officers ang inyong application form ng passport? O enough na yung papakita mo yung passport mo mismo? Kung ikaw ba ay nahuli ng traffic enforcer sa EDSA dahil sa violation ng traffic rules, ano ba ang hahanapin? Application form ba? O yung driver's license? Ganon din, pag ikaw ay nabigyan ng building permit, pag hahanapin ng inspector yan, hahanapin ba yung application form? At kung hindi mahanap ang application form, ay invalido ang building permit na pwede ding naibigay sa iyo some 10 years ago? Pwede bang sirain yung bahay mo dahil pwedeng hindi legal ang pagkatayo ng bahay mo? Ganon din sa amnesty. Ang importante ay ang certificate of amnesty at hindi yung application forms na pilit nilang hinahanap. Actually, ang tanong ho natin dito sa kanila kayo ang nagtago, hindi ba kayo ang mananagot dyan dahil winala nyo yung mga records? Hindi yung granting ng amnesty ang hinahanapan nyo. The unilateral decision of the President has a far-reaching effect to peace and stability in our country. Amnesty is a political tool of a government in order to erase past political crimes committed by a group of people in order for the country to foster unity, to start anew, to have a clean slate in governance, magsimula ng bago. The root word of the amnesty is amnesia, which means forget and forgive. It is as if nothing happened, no offenses committed, no offenders committed the crime. Walang-wala po. Hindi lamang kami ang maapektuhan, but also those who have availed of the amnesty before us and those who will avail in the future. Katulad po ng nakaraan, ilang amnestiya na ba ang naipasa? Sa panahon po ni President Rojas in 1946, para doon sa mga volunteer armed forces of Filipinos in other nationalities who operated as guerrillas. In 1948 also, para doon sa mga naakusahang collaborator ng mga Japanese sa World War II, binigyan din ng amnestiya. Noong 1948, yung membro ng Hukbalahap, binigyan din ng amnestiya para magsimula ho tayo ulit para sa kapayapaan, kaunlaran ng ating bansa. At kahit sa panahon ni Presidente Marcos, na binigyan din ng amnestiya ang membro ng Moro National Liberation Front at Bangsamoro Army. Sa panahon ni President Cory Aquino, pagkatapos ng rehim Marcos, binigyan din ng amnestiya ang lahat ng halos nakakulong noon. Ngayon po, pati na rin sa panahon ni President President Fidel Ramos, at sa panahon ni President Estrada, sa panahon po ni President Arroyo na speaker na po natin ngayon, marami pong nabigyan ng amnestiya. Ngayon, ang example po dito, let us take for example those who availed of amnesty after the 1987 EDSA revolution. For some reasons, hindi ka gusto ng present administration. Pwedeng ang kulit mo, opposition ka, o pangit ka lamang. Hindi ka type ng nakaupong administration. Pwede bang hanapan din sila ng application forms na sinumite nila noong 32 years ago? Kung hindi mo ito mapakita, ay enough na itong ikulong ka? This is very ridiculous. We have different rebel groups in the country. And there were negotiations that took place, and the continuing actually negotiations right now. Can they trust the government in granting amnesty if it can be easily revoked after some time? We just passed the Bangsamoro Organic Law, part of which is the granting of amnesty to the members of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. Can they trust the government na hindi sila babalikan pagdating ng panahon, hindi sa administrasyon na ito, after so many years after the granting of amnesty, dahil pwedeng relative ng isang presidente ay pinatay ng isang MILF? Pwede niyo bang babalikan? I-revoke ko ang inyong amnesty dahil hindi ko kayo type. Ito po ang epekto ng pagsira ng amnestiyang binibigay ng isang gobyerno sa mga rebelding grupo. Maraming problemang kinakaharap ang ating bansa, gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, katulad ng sobrang taas ng bilihin dahil sa Train 1, kakulangan ng supply ng murang bigas at isda, multi-billion na kontrata ng pamilya ni Secretary Bongo, multi-million na halaga ng kontrata ni Secretary o ni Solicitor General Calida sa kanyang security agency sa gobyerno, yung issue ng extrajudicial killings, pati na rin yung multi-billion na droga na pumapasok sa Pilipinas na hanggang sa ngayon ay hindi pa kilala ng gobyerno, hanggang sa ngayon ay hindi pa nahahabol ng administrasyon na ito na galit sa droga. Maingay ang oposisyon sa pagpuna ng mga ito. Di ba dapat ang mga problemang ito ang unahing hanapan ng solusyon ng ating gobyerno kaysa tinatarget at iniipit ang mga oposisyong nagpupuna ng mga problemang ito? Hindi dapat binabalikan ng presidente ang kanyang personal na kinagagalitan using the resources of the government. if we allow this brazen attempt to violate the rights of Senator Trillanes, mawawala na po ang pagkukunwari na ating lahat na tayo'y demokrasya pa. Tayo ay nasa diktatorya na because the President issued unilaterally in revoking the amnesty na kung saan ay hindi lamang bahagi ang Presidente dyan. Merong concurrent o concurrence ang Kongreso dyan. House of Representatives during the 15th Congress at kasama yung Senado dyan. May kasama dyan na judiciary actions. Hindi lamang ang Pangulo. Ikaw at ako ay maaring maging biktima sa arrangement o sa sitwasyon na ito. Kaya Mr. Speaker, ito ay nakakabahala. If we allow these things to happen, tayong lahat, pati na rin ang ordinaryong mamamayan, ay hindi po excuse sa anumang pwedeng gawin ng administrasyon na ito. With that, Mr. Speaker, my colleagues, maraming salamat po and God bless us all.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no questions or interpretants to the Honorable Alejano, I move that we refer the speech of the Honorable Alejano to the Committee on Rules for its appropriate action. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? Chair is none. Same is approved.